Alright folks, we have a new club guide here for you today, and this one I've taken a little bit of inspiration from a book that I've just finished reading. It's called Nobody Ever Says Thank You, the Brian Clough autobiography. Now, this is a book that not only goes through Brian Clough's playing career and his managerial career, but also focuses heavily on his time at Nottingham Forest, where of course he took them to being double European Cup winners in 1979 and 1980. And it got me thinking that Nottingham Forest are a bit of a fallen club, so what better way to shed some light on the club than by going through them in Football Manager 2022? Could you restore Nottingham Forest to former glory? Hello folks, and welcome back to another club guide, this time with Nottingham Forest on Football Manager 2022. My name is Craig, and as you can see on the screen, we've taken over Nottingham Forest. We have just put pen to paper on a new deal, and what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be going through all the different facets of, or the sections of Nottingham Forest on Football Manager as you start the game. So the finances, the squad, the tactics, and the development centre, and staff of course as well, because we can't forget about the staff at the start of the game. Can I just ask that before we get into the video itself, that if you drop a like down below if you're excited for the club guides that are coming on this channel, and also make sure to hit the subscribe button, in fact smash the subscribe button, that's why I'm making a fist, so you don't miss a single upload of Football Manager 2022 content coming up on the channel. Now that we've got the self-promotion out of the way, let us get into Nottingham Forest. Let's get stuck in. So Nottingham Forest, 3-star world reputation. That's pretty decent actually for a Football League Championship side, which is where Nottingham Forest currently are. The media are predicting that they are finishing in the playoffs, which, considering where Nottingham Forest were at the start of this season, I know Chris Hughton, their previous manager, got the sack after they were bottom of the league, but it kind of says how highly Football Manager think of this squad. That the media are saying you're going to finish 5th. Of course, the club history is very, very, very rich. 2 European Cups, as mentioned in the intro, 1979 and 1980. That is quite a legacy to live up to. Obviously, former champions of England in one occasion, 1978. FA Cup winners, League Cup, Championship as well. There's the League Cup 4 times actually. They won it in hang on, what? They won the League Cup in 1990. I did not realise they won it 2 years in a row. Well done, Clough. I must have forgot that somehow, even though it's mentioned in the book, his autobiography. But certainly there's a lot of potential here at Nottingham Forest, 30,000 capacity stadium as well. And this is allegedly your best 11. Obviously you might change this up as you go through the squad and as you get your own players in. But let's have a look. Sambo is your goalkeeper. McKenna, is that Scott? It's not Scott McKenna. Yes, it is Scott McKenna, Scottish centre back. Fair enough. That is a quality player that you've got right there. Osei Tutu. Where is he from? He's from Arsenal. I thought I recognised that name. He's on loan from us, my favourite team. So definitely a quality right back you're going to have there. Although he's 22 years old now, he's getting on a little bit in terms of players coming out of our academy. Jack Colback, that's a name throwback to the past. I think I've had him on previous FMs. He's solid, not spectacular, but certainly solid. Cafu, what? Portuguese 28-year-old central midfielder. He's not quite the same Cafu as what I remember growing up. But certainly there's some quality in here. I'm not sure about strikers wise. I mean, Lewis Grabban, he's been okay over the years, but he's 33 years old. You might want to think about replacing him. As far as the club vision goes, club culture, develop players using the club's youth system. We'll go through that in a bit. Whether they're going to be any good or not is up to interpretation, if you will. And sign players under the age of 23. That's fine. That's what most Football Manager players do. Anyway, whether you'll do that in the first season, it depends on who you find. Work within the wage budget, standard. The board want you to reach the playoffs as a minimum. That's fine. The media are predicting you'll finish in the playoffs, so you must have the squad who's good enough to do that. And the cups just perform well. Reach the 4th round, the 3rd round of the cups respectively. That's absolutely fine. Work towards gaining automatic promotion to the Premier League. That is the 5-year plan that the board is setting out for you. And that's fair enough. I think you should be aiming for that anyway, over maybe the first couple of seasons or so. Okay, so we've just made it to the inbox for Nottingham Forest. As ever, just accept the current vision for the club vision, because you're not going to be able to make that many changes to it, if any at all. You don't have any currency in the game at the very start. But the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to head for the club info. We'll come to finances in a moment. So Nottingham Forest, known as the Reds, imaginative nickname, obviously from Nottingham. So your local derbies, of course, the East Midlands derby, the most hotly anticipated one for Nottingham Forest every year, against Derby County. That'll be the case in the first season, but unlikely Derby are going to survive the first season due to administration, so enjoy that one while it lasts. And of course the Nottingham derby against Notts County, considering Notts County are in non-league. Probably won't have to worry about them anytime soon. Let's have a look. General information. As you can see, Nottingham Forest, predominantly a championship side, although they were in League One for a few seasons, 15 years ago or so. Since then they've been hovering up and down. They finished third in 2010. I don't remember that. They had a few good years there where they were challenging for the playoffs, and then just have slipped well back. In fact, they finished 7th in 2020. I honestly forgot they almost made the playoffs that year before relegation scrapped last year and finishing mid-table. Facilities wise, as we've seen, 30,000 seat stadium, good training facilities, good youth facilities. Over time you start developing these, especially if you stick around with them. But the good youth facilities, youth level is 1. I don't think that is very good. I need to look that up at some point because I don't know what the youth levels ranges are actually. So 1 could be good, it could be terrible. I honestly can't remember, but if the board want you to start using youth players, you might want to upgrade these sooner rather than later. Any affiliates? You've got a couple. You've got Crumlin United. Yeah, I guess you're paying them 50,000 a year, fair enough, from the Republic of Ireland. Olympiacos though, oh, that's actually quite a good one. Olympiacos are a dominant team in Greece, so any good players from Olympiacos, so good youth players that is, you might be able to pick them up for cheap, if not on a loan. Anyway, finances wise, 15 million in the bank for Nottingham Forest. That's quite healthy for a championship club. £2.5 million transfer budget, plus if you sell any players, that's only going to go up anyway. And you've got about 3,500 on the wage budget. Yeah, 3,500 on the wage budget. So you can certainly get in a couple of 1 or 2 players maybe, and potentially any loans unless you've maxed them out already. I believe you probably maxed them out already, potentially, because you've got 5 loans in. In fact, what is the loan limit for the championship? I've completely forgotten. Let's have a look. Under match rules, no, that's fine. Match squad must have no more than 5 loan players. Right, okay. And you've already got 5 loan players in. You're kind of screwed for loan players this season, unfortunately. Let's have a look. Squad-wise, just sort it by current ability. Bryce Samba is apparently your best player as your goalkeeper. 27 years old. Can kind of see why. He's going to be your first choice goalkeeper without a doubt. 27-year-old Frenchman. He's been at Nottingham Forest for a couple of years, and he's been ever present. So, I mean, he did help you challenge for the playoffs. Unless you can find a better goalkeeper than him, to be honest, you're literally just going to be stuck with him. So, he's your best player in the squad anyway, as is Scott McKenna, Scottish international centre back. Definitely a good player for you from Aberdeen. I think he's only going to get better anyway. He's, how old is he? 24. He can improve a little bit. He'll be absolutely fine. He'll be someone who I think is going to be a solid player for you. Definitely a starter for you at centre-back. Cafu, Figueiredo actually, another centre-back. So your centre-backs are the strongest position in this squad. Very, very handy. You can build on your defence effectively. They say a defence wins you championships. Attack wins you games, I think it is. I think it's that way around. Attack wins you games, defence wins you championships. Make a note of that, so you might be relying on these two as centre-backs for the entire season. Formerly of Sporting, actually. Sporting have a Very, very good set of players, usually wingers, but you got a good centre back from them, so fair enough. He's actually wanted. Who wants him? Lons and Colorado. Right, up to you if you want to sell him. I wouldn't if I were you. Cafu as your central midfielder as well is another good player, 28-year-old Portuguese. Box-to-box midfielder, I would easily make use of that in my squad. He was on loan last season, he's here permanently from Olympiacos. There's the affiliate coming into play. Yeah, the Portuguese player over in Greece. That's fair enough. I thought he'd be Greek. I was just assuming Greek players would be coming over from them, to be honest, but fair enough. But other than that, your squad is kind of all-rounded. 2.5 star to 3.5 star ability, current ability. There are a few 5-star potential players in there. Brian Ojeda, I can't even pronounce these names. Alex Myton, I've heard of him, left winger. American as well, from Nottingham Forest Youth Academy, and he's been getting games for them. There you go, you can satisfy the youth player from Nottingham Forest with Alex Myton. Give him a bit of time, he'll improve. 19 years old, he'll be absolutely fine. He's not terribly fast, but train him in those areas, train him physically. He could be a force to be reckoned with, certainly in the Championship. But there is some potential in this squad. James Garner, who's on loan, Brennan Johnson, and the aforementioned Alex Myton and Ojeda. So, I'm going to come back in a moment, just going to quickly sort out tactics. By the looks of it, we're going to be making use of, by the looks of your best players, I'd say wingers are definitely going to be some of your best players, so you might want to make use of wingers, but we'll be back with tactics in a short moment. Right, I can't believe I'm actually using this straight off the bat. Nottingham Forest appear to be a squad after my own heart, but for the first time in a save that I've pulled up, I've got a wide centre back. I can't believe this. A 5-2-3 formation. This is something that was recommended by the assistant manager. This is not something that I've just completely put out there. But a wide centre back position in a 5-2-3 formation for Nottingham Forest. Very, very interesting that they go with this potentially in the Championship, but if it works, it works. But obviously Samba would be your best goalkeeper, a sweeper keeper as well, nonetheless. Worrell, Figueiredo and Bissot. Actually, it would be McKenna in there, but of course he is on holiday apparently, so we'll just stick him in there just so we know that he's going to be in there anyway. Your 2 wing backs and then 2 central midfielders, whoops, and of course 2 wingers as we've identified. In the squad page, your wingers look to be a very strong area, and the same for central midfield and centre backs. So I guess it would make sense that you would use 3 centre backs in your squad, especially if you can use wide centre backs. I mean, in Football Manager 22, wide centre backs are a big thing. Apparently they work very well, so why not give it a try? You would have 1 striker up front as a complete forward. Not sure I'd use Graben as a complete forward. Maybe a pressing forward on attack or support, especially as he's 33. He's not exactly someone I would particularly trust maybe as a complete forward. I mean, you can experiment, see how it works. Could use him as an advanced forward, use him as a pressing forward. Experiment and see what works. Personally, if you're going to bring up a tactic for the first time, leave it as it is, use it in pre-season and just see what works and what doesn't, and then just make the tweaks based off of that. Other tactics that I've just plugged in as well, according to my assistant manager, wing play. If I do quick pick, yeah, I use wing play a lot, so this would be something that I'd also consider as well. Graben would still be the main man up front. Your wingers are still going to be fairly strong, and you just utilise a back 4 effectively. Very traditional English defence. 5-2-3 with a wide centre back. That is the one that probably grabs my interest the most. In fact, I might actually try this at some point. If I get someone in the Championship in one of my saves, I'll definitely give wide centre back a shot and just see if it actually works. Okay, so the board want you to use the youth facilities, and I can kind of see why. There's a number of first team candidates here that the coaches and assistant manager is recommending to you. Atif Kanate, 20-year-old attacking midfielder. He can play anywhere across that attacking midfield, and he looks quite decent actually, I'm not going to lie. He's only 20, right, he's 20 years old, French attacking midfielder. Whether he'll be starting for you, certainly in the first season, I don't know. He is currently wanted on loan, so maybe sending him out on loan isn't such a bad idea. He has not played a single professional game, so maybe take advantage of the fact that he's wanted. He's listed for loan as well. Just get him some of that game experience, because that will more than likely help his development. He's a League 2 player currently with Championship potential. If you're staying around in the Championship, he'll be useful in the future, but if you're going to the Premier League, get him that experience and then just sell him on. It will be handy. Jaden Richardson, Will Swan, Baba Fernandez, Tyrese Forner. These are players that you might want to go through. Just have a look, see if they're going to be any use to you, or just send them out on loan. They all appear to be 20, 21 years old, and they're only 2-star current ability. These are players I'd probably recommend, yeah, send out on loan. Get them the match experience. If they develop for your squads and are good enough, give them a shot in future seasons. But otherwise, you might want to take advantage of the fact that they could generate some cash for you going forward, especially adding to that £2.5 million transfer budget you get at the start of the game. And finally, we come to the staff, and as ever with any team, to be honest with you, there's always going to be slots to fill out in your coaching staff and your recruitments. Usually I would say medical staff as well, but you've actually maxed those out. In fact, you've got more physios than you should actually have. The same for sports scientists. So if you want to get rid of one or two of them, be my guest. It'll take them off the wage bill and just free up some space for other scouts or other coaches as well. Is it just pure coaches? Nope, it's also performance analyst and recruitment analyst, scouts, yeah. You might want to fill out all the coaching and the scouts slots anyway, because at the moment you have nowhere near the best in terms of recruitment in the Championship. If anything, you're actually mid-table for a lot of the staff averages. So may I suggest you get these filled out ASAP at the start of the game, preferably on day one when you start this new save, and then get into signing the players, because the better your staff is, especially your scouts, the more reliable your reports allegedly will be. Allegedly. Don't hold me to that. And that is the club guide for Nottingham Forest. Just a quick one, just to get a flavour of what to expect when you take over at Nottingham Forest. They are a very famous fallen giant. They haven't been in the Premier League for over 20 years. So a lot longer than Leeds were actually out of the top flight for. So they're definitely a good challenge and a satisfying one if you do manage to get them back to the Premier League and back to the glory days of the Brian Clough era, certainly the early days of the Brian Clough era. Who knows, if you take them back to Champions League glory, you could be spoken of in the same breath as Brian Clough. There's a lot of Brian Clough in this episode, I feel, but then you can't really talk about Nottingham Forest without mentioning Brian Clough. So that is always going to be the challenge of you living up to what he did for the club. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, folks, and if you are looking forward to more content on the channel, especially club guides and experiments and simulations, make sure that you hit the like button down below and smash the big red subscribe button so you don't miss a single upload of FM22 content coming up. But I thank you so much for watching and look forward to seeing you all in future videos.